Well, from Hollywood to Bolton, because there's a hotly anticipated show heading there this weekend. Robert Temple is Hypnotist, and he'll be the first one to perform in Bolton for 42 years. The council actually banned hypnotism in 1982, but they finally overturned that old-fashioned law. Well, I'm delighted to say Robert joined me earlier, and I started by asking him how he managed to persuade the council to change their mind after all this time.
When we started scheduling the tour dates, we didn't factor in the sort of idea that any council might treat this differently from any other council. Like, it's normally quite a streamlined process. There's a form to fill in, you supply insurance, a risk assessment and all of that. And so it was unusual to be greeted with this reply saying, oh, we just don't license hypnosis shows. So I went to and got some legal advice, and then they suggested that the council speak to their legal team, their in-house legal team. And then that eventually drove this to become a meeting that had to be held with a vote for the sort of licensing committee, because it eventually become beyond the powers of the in-house licensing team to be able to just deal with it.
Anyway, you've sorted everything out. You've got your show. It's back in Bolton now. And you're a comedy hypnotist. Just talk to us about what you do then. What can we expect if we went to your show?
Yeah, so think of it as everything that you like about stand-up comedy and improv comedy and sketch comedy, except everyone in the show, except for me, is a hypnotized member of the audience who volunteers at the start of the show rather than like a trained actor. So at the start of the show, anyone who wants to take part can jump up on stage and have a chance of being hypnotized. My job is to figure out the people who are going to be best at it, because being hypnotized is a skill. And then I'm going to choose those people and then take them through 2 hours of mayhem where literally anything can happen. It's my job to create a sense of controlled chaos on stage.
I'm going to just ask you, I mean, how did you get into it in the first place? Because it's not something that everybody does, is it? It's quite niche.
I was this sort of weird, quiet, really shy kid at school, and when I was about 4, I found magic. So I started doing magic tricks. I saw a magician at a kid's party, and I did that for quite a long time, took it very seriously, as like, this is what I'm going to do for a living. Other kids want to be footballers and train drivers and hairdressers. I want to be a magician. And then when I was 14, I saw a hypnotist do a stage show, and it was like the most wild thing. And Paul McKenna was still on the television doing comedy hypnosis in those days before he moved over to doing just hypnotherapy stuff. And yeah, it really captured my attention. So I started doing the two side by side for a while, and eventually dropped magic and just decided to focus full force on doing my hypnosis show.
So that's your thing. I mean, and you talked about people who you're going to be hypnotising. They're all volunteers, so it's done with people's blessing, if you like. And just interestingly though, I mean, can hypnotism be ever dangerous?
I guess it's like anything in the wrong hands. It could be used for harmful effects. It's really about understanding. Here's the thing: people can't be hypnotized against their will. They have to go with it. It is something where you have to try to be hypnotized as hard as a hypnotist has to try to hypnotize you. It really is a two-way thing. Nobody can sit there with their arms crossed and say, "Come on and hypnotize me," and fight against it. It just won't work. And so, but once you've got somebody's consent and you've got somebody hypnotized and they're in that state, then of course you are fundamentally playing with the subconscious thoughts. Although it has often been proven that it's hard to make anyone say or do anything that would really contradict their sort of natural morals and values.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have lots of fun. I'm not going to get you to hypnotise me because I've got to get to the end of the show. But I do wish you the best of luck in your forthcoming shows. Pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thanks. Thank you.
Now,